So today we are going to talk about Git. So Git is actually nowadays the most popular version control system. In the old days, basically Ivy and Subversion. Subversion version is really popular, but once Git is actually there, it's actually taking the dominance now. It's actually really useful. There are a lot of cool features. There's no way actually to cover all of these things in a short session. So we are going to talk about only the basic stuff, which is actually most popular used one. So let's see in the beginning, right? Let's starting from the beginning. So first of all, the first thing first. So Git actually should be installed. So depending on the operating system. So basically, there are different ways to install it. So let's see. I think for Ubuntu, so basically it should be like this. So the install Git. Then macOS basically it will be brew install Git. Then Windows basically can download from the Git website. So that's how it's being installed. So once it's being installed, so basically we will the first thing first. So we actually need a repository. So a repository is basically the place to hosting all those files. For Java, basically all those Java classes, or maybe Python, or maybe some other scripts. So if it's completely new, what we need to do is actually we need to do a Git init, which means this is actually completely new. We just initiate, we just create a Git repository here locally. In normal cases, it's actually there should be some repositories already available. So basically, people will just need to clone this thing. So let's say if we got this repository, people what need to do is actually just need to clone this thing. So for existing repository, so basically what you need to do is git clone. So that's either case, this will create a directory. So here, so let's see if we actually seeing everything. So there will be a Git folder. So basically with either Git init or maybe a Git clone. So if you have this thing, then within here, so it basically tell all those commits, the head, which is actually where it's currently pointing. So if it's, let's see, head. So this one, we can actually probably view it. So let's see. It's currently pointing. So the current head is actually pointing feature, which is actually the current branch. So let's go back to the current direction. So this is so once we have a repository, whether it's Git init or maybe or Git clone. Next step is we are going to work on it. So nowadays actually recommended to do something called trunk-based branch. So normally for existing repository, there is a branch which is a main branch. The main branch can be called in different ways. So it can be called maybe let's see, it's called master branch, or can be called developer branch, or can be called trunk. So for trunk development, basically it's using this branch as kind of the golden copy. Then for this branch, it's always ready to push to production. So it should be well tested, should be a golden copy. So then when people want to use that branch, do some coding, then basically you need to create a new branch. So right now we have a new branch here, we call it feature. So we can actually check. So git status, basically one of the commands, we can check what's happening here. So if we do a status check, this actually can be done from the IntelliJ or any IDE as well. So currently we are on this branch. So what you can do is we can actually you can basically check what's the current status as well. So I prefer using command line. So in the command line, basically, this is actually still in the working directory. It's actually not yet staged. Let's just stage it. So for now, so let's see, we want to stage color first. So once they stage it, ST is basically a shortcut for status. So once we stage it, then it will move, color.java will basically move to staged, but it's not yet committed. I'm actually going to, okay, so the latest one is actually add new color. So I'm actually going to add in new commits now. So let's see what's the change here actually. So color. Okay, I think I reverted color. So if we see this thing, yeah, so there's no change here. That's fine. So let's add in this main.java as well. So this thing basically. There's really not a feature branch here. So, yeah, so there's no feature branch here. So everything is actually in local. So right now I'm actually going to commit both. So if we check again for this local repository, so basically now both actually currently in the staging area now, waiting to be committed. So if we check again, for that's not the thing. So docket, then if we go to text, this is it's pointing to feature branch. So this thing. So we now have this new commits here. It's not yet. So basically, we're making the code changes. Then once it's ready, we add it, we commit it, but this is still lies in the local. The next step is actually we need to push it. If it's a new branch never being pushed before, we need to tell how this is actually linked to remote. So basically in remote, we got this thing. So basically we got only one remote here, which is origin, basically linked to here. So we are going to basically now let's push it. So if we push this thing out, we should have a new branch called feature. There will be a new branch here. Yeah, so we just basically committed this thing in. So this branch is 2 commits ahead. So if we basically remove these comments, but that's really a simple change. So that's roughly how it works actually for day-to-day developers. So basically, we create a new repository right as a git init or git clone. Then we are actually going to make the change. We actually need to check it out a new branch. So let's see, we already have a new branch here. We call it feature. So work on this feature branch. Then once it's ready, we add it and also commit it. Then we push it. So once we push it in, what we can do is actually we can create a merge request here. So in the command line, it actually got a hook here. So for this hook, basically it will give a link for us to sample merge request to create a merge request here. So we can just create a PR here. Okay, so in GitLab it's actually called merge request. In GitHub it's actually basically called merge request. Then once it's tested, there should be a auto pipeline here. So once it's tested, then we can just merge it in. So if we merge it in, so as another developer, if we check here, so we should have a new branch now. So just now we merge it in. So as the first developer, we merge in basically this is actually merge request number 2. Then here we basically will see it. So from here, now we got 8 commits. So basically the change, which is removing that comments, will be here as well. So that's how roughly it works. I will show again basically if we do a git status again, so now it's up to date. So if we check out to master, we do a git pull, so we always actually get the latest from the branch. So if we go back to the feature branch, I think if we do this thing again, okay. So in GitLab, sometimes it's actually able to tell now the remote branch is actually being deleted. I think the remote branch is deleted. Let's see. Okay, I think there's a merge request. There's actually a way to basically to delete, but since it's not being deleted, so it didn't show there. So that's fine. So so basically, if any time there's somebody actually push it to trunk, so what we need to do is actually we need to do a git pull. So once we get the latest, then we can actually check out to our own new branch. Let's see, we got a new branch we call feature 2. Then from this feature 2, then basically we are going to work on it. So now it's actually going to work feature 2. So let's just remove these comments. So very simple. So basically from this branch, if we do this thing again, so we actually got again some changes. So basically we remove the comments. So git diff basically tell us what's actually the comments. So if we do this again, -A is basically trying to add everything. So add all the changes, then we commit it. So another quick sample. So basically we change it, then we push it. So because it's a new branch, so it's actually never been there before, so we just push it out. Then from here, you can just go to that using this hook. Actually going to create a MR or maybe create a sample. PR for GitHub. So we push in. Okay, so okay, so we just merge it in. So now we merge in number tree as well. So from number tree, come back here again. You refresh. As another developer, so we got this thing. So the latest change is basically we are removing these comments. So if we see the code, so basically in here, so it's now very clean. So that the comments is being removed. I think that's probably it for